Welcome to Dolly Talk. How is everybody doing today? Hurry up. I know. I'm late to my own party. God. I know. Stream's canceled, guys. Sorry. Go home. Go home, guys. Stream's canceled. All right. How are you doing, Louise, Paul? Gigi's here. Scott and Jim. All right. So, Mads, of course. Oh, what the hell are we doing? Okay, so we are finishing day 1 of the Christopher Stefan Jones trial, who got into a bit of a scuffle at the police station because he got a ticket for a seatbelt. So, yes, I will do a poll. Good thinking. I'll do that after, before closing. All right. Thank you, Gigi. Day 1.
Nothing further, Judge. All right, you may step down. Thank you.
Okay, so we got, I think, 1 or 2 more witnesses.
Officer Aaron Morgan.
Stay standing, raise your right hand. I swear from the testimony of English.
Aw, look.
I do.
Water if you need it. That's the touchscreen.
May I proceed?
Please.
Good afternoon. Could you please tell us your name and spell your first and last name for the record?
My name is Officer Aaron Morgan, Aaron Morgan.
And where are you currently employed?
The City of Springboro Police Department.
In what capacity?
I'm the Community Resource Officer and Public Information.
Is the audio low or am I loud? One sec, guys. Sorry.
Officer.
And what does that mean to be the community resource officer and the public information officer?
So basically my job
know that.
is to find any gaps between the community and the police department and do what I can to bridge those gaps. I'm the friendly face of the department that people feel they can reach out to if, they don't want to talk to a, stereotypical cop that you see, walking around in the vest and the uniform. I'm kind of everyone's friend.
And do you, in your everyday, when you go to work, do you typically wear the full police uniform?
I do not. I wear a polo shirt and khakis.
Okay. And how long have you been with the City of Springboro?
For 11 years.
And how long have you been in this role as the community resource officer, the public information officer?
Approximately 2.5 years.
And so you do not currently work a road patrol?
No.
I want to turn your attention back to November 1st of last year. Were you working that day?
I was.
And did you have occasion that day to become involved in an incident that occurred in the lobby of the police department?
I did.
What were you wearing to work that day?
Being the community resource officer, a lot of the things that I do involve children. And that day I had been invited to come to a trunk or treat at one of our local preschools. So I was wearing a pink jumpsuit and a vest and gun belt, dressed as an Officer Barbie to interact with the kids.
And you had worn that costume, for lack of a better word, in fact, to a number of trunk or treats kind of in that Halloween season last year.
Yes.
And you were wearing that when you came out to the lobby in this incident, is that correct?
Yes,
Do you have an office in the Springboro Police Department?
I do.
Where is that office? We've seen
Officer
and heard a lot about, we've
Bodycam.
seen some video, I'll show you here in a minute, with the police dispatch window under the big police sign. Where is your office in relation to kind of how you enter and exit through that lobby?
So the door that you enter into our department from, that's next to that lobby window, you would walk past dispatch, which is the first office. You would walk past our records manager, who's the next office. And then you would turn a corner and that would be my office.
A moment.
And how did you come to be aware that something was happening in the lobby?
We had a training going on that day, and a lot of our detectives were in the roll call room, which is the next section past where my office is. And I heard our dispatcher, Stephanie, walking down the hall yelling to the guys, hey, somebody needs to get out there with Larry. This guy's going to be a problem. He needs somebody to go out there with him.
And what did you do based on hearing that?
It definitely caught my attention. And then it seemed like immediately after she said that, I heard a very loud thump.
And
This is
what did you do
Officer
after
Barbie.
hearing the very loud thump?
I ran directly to the lobby.
And you're aware that there is surveillance in the lobby?
Yes.
Captured this incident, correct?
Yes.
Who's this dog that we see right here?
That is Officer Blue. He is our comfort and care dog. Part of my duties are to take him to interact with children in preschools and retirement homes, things like that. He's at the building if people need, some love.
And in the chaos, he made it out the front door.
Yes, yes, he
to
did.
partake. Okay. I'm trying to get it to where. So what do you observe when you exit out, and the door you're talking about we can't see on camera? Correct.
Yes.
That is a touch screen that I think will work on video. Will you kind of indicate on the screen where the door would be that you come out of?
It's behind this wall. It looks like I'm pointing at that door on the left. I'm not. It's kind of behind this wall here.
Next to where the window is.
Yes.
Just in the wall that we can't see.
Yes.
Okay. And what do you see when you first come out? What is the situation that you take in?
I saw Sergeant Bush on the floor with Mr. Jones. I didn't know his name to be Mr. Jones at that time. I recognized him as someone from our community over top of him with, it seemed like a punching stance.
Okay. And do you see, you said you didn't know his name at the time, but you recognized him. Do you see that individual in the courtroom today?
I do.
Could you just identify something he's wearing?
He's wearing a suit at the defendant's stand.
There's two people wearing suits at the defense
Thank you.
table.
He has a dark suit and a tie on with boxes. My eyesight's not that good.
Identifying the defendant.
Thank you, Your Honor. So you
Come
see
on,
the
Barbie.
defendant over top of Sergeant Bush.
I do.
What is your first priority when you exit the lobby or exit into the lobby and see that going on?
I have interacted with Mr. Jones previously, and we've always had a good rapport. Not, I wouldn't say that he likes me, but we have a good interaction back and forth. So my goal was to, I knew that there were a lot of people coming behind me. My goal was to kind of take a breath and pause the action. And so I yelled, stop, and he stopped. And then, it occurred to me that maybe I should have my taser out. And I didn't do that because our tasers are set up to have two different settings. Mine is set to go farther apart. And I knew in that setting that it wasn't going to be an effect.
I mean, I let's be honest. I give her, she's already ahead of the game, and that she knew she had a taser on her, and what settings the taser was at. I think the defendant should just be happy he's still alive.
Tool to use. When I said stop, he stopped. He looked at me, and I don't know if it was because of my outfit or because we have had a good interaction previously. And he stopped and looked at me, and I said, "Just look at me. Just focus on me. Look at me."
All that.
And then I heard the door open, and his hand started to move again. And at that point, Detective Emmel was there and interacted with him.
Okay. So you ordered him to stop and he stopped. And then was your plan to continue to try to talk to him?
Yes.
Is that what your job is?
Yes.
And you said his hand started to move when the door opened. Describe what you mean by that.
Just in a downward, I honestly had tunnel vision where I was just focused on him. I didn't see where Sergeant Bush was, but I knew that he was still on the ground.
Okay.
I was trying to give him time to get away. So I didn't know if his hands were going towards Sergeant Bush because I was so focused on him and trying to get him focused on me. So I just know that they were going in a downward motion.
And then you said Detective Officer Emmel comes out and they physically engage.
Correct.
What do you see happen at that point?
I know that they ended up on the ground, and the other detectives and officers were there also. It was chaos just because the dog got out and, there was a lot going on. I was kind of hovering about waiting to see if there was an opportunity for me to help. I would say that those guys are better at that role than I am. And I was trying not to get in the way, but be there if I could help in any way.
Mads, yeah, she seems much better at handling the situation than Officer Bush. I mean, as much crap as I've given her for dressing like Barbie and explain her position as communications. Yeah, I've given her a lot of crap, but she's the only one that tried to de-escalate and calm things down. She showed him respect, which went a long way, and didn't treat him like a child or, throw him on the ground, try to throw him on the ground right away. So, I mean, of all the officers there, she actually helped the most.
I'm going to play this video just a little bit. And you've reviewed this video, is that correct?
Yes,
And does it accurately depict from your recollection what occurred that day?
yes.
Your Honor, for the record, which video is she referring to?
This is State's Exhibit 2, the lobby video.
Okay.
What do you
Is
say?
that what, when, it's hard to get it at just the precise moment, but when you enter the lobby,
What are you doing?
is that the view you have when you first enter the lobby?
Yes. Well, I think his arm may have been pulled up.
Okay.
Like he was going to punch.
Okay. But he's over Sergeant Bush.
Yes,
Who's on the ground.
yes.
And what are you doing at this point?
I told him to stop. And I think that was the point where I was saying, look at me, just look at me, just look at me. And then it was back on.
Ooh.
You don't ever physically engage with that.
I do not.
I can have just one moment, Your Honor. I have no further questions, Officer Moore.
Cross.
Thank you, Your Honor. So when you described that you heard some kind of a thump, you don't know what that was at all?
I do not.
Okay, because you were down the hall, right?
Yes.
I want to show you, I'm going to publish this so you can see it in front of you. It's Exhibit D that we already had marked. I can publish that here. So let me back this up. All right. And that's the hallway you recognize, right, that we just watched?
Yes.
Okay. And this was before you came out, correct?
Yes.
And as you can tell, where is Mr. Jones's hands?
Your Honor, I'm going to object. She was not present for this.
Your point, Mr. Hovling, with this witness in that picture,
This was just prior to her coming out.
that's the reason for my question.
I'll ask a different question.
Thank you, sir.
That's okay. So you came a little after that, temporarily, right? And I'm going to show you what's been marked as Exhibit G. Again, let's see this. Where's Officer Bush? At his feet, right?
Yes. I believe he's on his knees.
And you're pointing to Mr. Jones.
Yes.
And that's when you said stop.
Yes.
Right.
Well, it looks like his hands are up there. So I had just said stop.
Okay. So he was trying to comply with your order,
Yes.
correct? And you don't know if Officer Bush heard that at all, correct?
If he heard that,
Yeah.
I don't know.
But Officer Bush doesn't stop, does he?
I don't know. Like I said, I was focused on Mr. Jones, so I wasn't aware of what was going on.
Understood. And the purpose that you stated was to try to let Officer Bush back up from the situation, and as you stated, pause it, right?
Yes.
That didn't happen, did it?
It did not.
Okay. So in this one, by this time, the other officer has come up. And on this video, we saw that Officer Bush had come up by that time. And Mr. Jones had pushed him off of him because he came back at him. Do you recall seeing that?
I remember the pushing motion. Yes.
Okay. But Officer Bush had, again, placed his hands on him to do whatever. And that's when he repelled him, correct?
I honestly was only looking at Mr. Jones, so I don't know I can't even remember seeing Sergeant Bush after my initial coming out of the office.
Okay. Do you recall seeing this other officer right here?
I know there were several officers out there. I can't tell who that is. That Detective Emil? That picture is dark. It's hard to see. I mean, that's definitely one of our officers. I can't tell from the photo which one it is.
Okay. Okay. So you would defer that to somebody else, right? Now, let me show you what's been marked as Exhibit I. Okay. Oops. back this off. Sorry about that. Okay. In this picture, you recognize that's you, right?
Yes.
Okay, and in this picture, this is from a body cam. So at this point, there's the defendant, and is this the officer that you can't identify? Same clothing.
That would be Detective Emily, yes.
Okay, so backing up to what I had asked you, now you know that was Detective or Officer Emily,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Oh, Cat.
Is there anybody else that you can remember being in that as far as another officer at that point?
Hey, Cat. I didn't refresh when the stream started. Oh, hate it when that happens. Oh, thank you so much for gifting $5 Talk memberships. That was so generous of you. You're the best. I hope you're doing well, Cat.
At that point, I don't think so. They were either coming out of the door or close to that.
Question here for you. These are the elevators, right? Right here?
Yes,
There's no door right there, correct?
correct.
Let the record reflect that was sort of on the left side of the exhibit. These two doors that are in the picture on the right, you see those doors, right?
Yes.
They weren't anywhere near those doors, were they?
They who?
These two, when they were first on the ground. You didn't see them bang into the doors.
Not the restroom doors, no.
Okay. And there's handles on those doors, right?
Yes,
Is there any other door in that area that you can think of?
there is. It's directly in front of me.
Okay, that's
This,
this one, right?
yes.
Do you recall them hitting that door or being out from it?
I'm not sure where they ended up landing. I don't know if it was against the door or.
Did you hear anything that indicated they hit a door that you can recall?
I don't think so.
Okay,
Ooh.
all right. I'm going to show you what's been marked as Exhibit J.
They claim he broke a door, or like the doorknob.
Sort of tough to see, but I think you're in this picture. This is shortly after when he's being restrained. Do you recall the taser being taken out by one of the officers?
Yes, I believe Sergeant Bush took his taser out and I yelled taser, taser, taser because I saw him take it out.
You yelled it, not him?
In that picture, can you tell where you're standing?
I am at the feet of where Mr. Jones was, I believe.
Is this you?
Yes.
Okay.
So what, he just leaves it for the female to
Thank you.
do that work?
Do you recall anybody stating with regard to the chief that he wasn't present in the building that day? Somebody saying he's not here?
I wasn't out there for any of their interactions, so I don't.
During that time when the people were on the ground and it had ended, they had him in handcuffs.
Mhm.
Do you recall anybody saying, well, he's not even here?
I said that.
Oh, that was you?
I said that in the THF, yes.
Okay. And that was during that time? Like,
No, that was back in the THF.
Okay. Do you recall before that, somebody stating that?
I don't.
Okay. Let me play you something and see maybe if you recognize it. With the indulgence of my person over there. Can you put my video up, please? I'm going to play this and I want you to listen close because I'm going to ask you some questions, okay?
Okay.
And this is States Exhibit 2. I'm sorry, Exhibit 1, which is the body cam.
Why didn't you just say that? Did you ask? I did. I asked him. I demanded he come here.
I don't know if you could hear that because you were the one that was actually on the radio,
Yes.
right? But on this video, did you hear somebody say he's not even here?
I heard what sounded like Mr. Jones reacting to something that was said, but I was focused on myself talking at that time.
I understand. Did you hear somebody say, why didn't you just tell me that?
Yes.
Okay.
That's who I believe to be Mr. Jones.
Okay, that was my question.
Yes.
If you thought you might know who that was. Thank you, Judge. Nothing further.
May redirect.
You mentioned you spoke with Mr. Jones back in the THF.
Yes.
Did I get that acronym
Yes.
correct?
Temporary holding facility. My apologies.
Okay. And what was your purpose in speaking with him back there?
Again, we have a good rapport. And even though something just happened that nobody, wants to happen, I was hoping to keep him engaged with me, and I know that there's a process that has to go on before, paperwork that has to be done. And I knew they were going to be asking him questions and asking him to do things. And my goal was to be, again, that friendly face to where, I can say, yes, would you please do this? And, would you help me out by doing this, instead of, just trying to keep it calm.
And what was his demeanor back in the THF?
He was still very agitated. He would converse with me. I, asked him if he would speak with me, and he said yes. And, he was obviously still very heightened. He still had a very stiff posture. And then one of the other officers walked in, who he thought was the officer that had given him a citation. And he got very upset at that and said that he needed to leave. And
So let me ask you this. When you were speaking with him, would he calm down?
and yes,
Was it easy for him to become heightened again?
yes.
And you said he maintained a stiff posture. What do you mean by that?
Just very rigid, and
Oh,
he had, I don't know how to explain it adequately, just kind of ready to go.
Was he secured at that point? Like, was he in handcuffs at that
I
point?
believe he was in handcuffs.
And he maintains that posture?
Yes.
I have no.
Any recross?
Thank you. When you said that he was rigid, he was sitting up straight, correct?
Yes.
Do you know if he has a back prop?
I do not.
So there's all sorts of things are possible, but he was not making, after you talked to him, he calmed down, and you told him again, the chief wasn't even there.
Correct.
So that was that during your training, before the training session that you had? You talked about that. Remember when you were telling me you were in a training session?
I was not in a training session. I was going to a child's,
Ah.
the detectives had been in a training session.
When you came down the hallway?
Yes.
Okay. Who was in the training session?
It was for detectives. I was preparing to go to a trunk or treat, which is why I looked ridiculous.
Okay. That's why you were Officer Barbie. right?
Yes.
Okay. But you knew that the chief wasn't in the building, right?
Correct.
Okay. And had there been an announcement he wasn't going to be there that day?
No, just in my job, I interact a lot daily with our administration because of
Okay.
media and things like that.
Okay. And you had found out about that earlier in this event, right?
Yes.
Okay. Nothing further, Judge. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions for Officer Morgan at this time, we'll do some writing. Pose question with any other member of the jury.
Hey, hello.
Question, so you are.
Thank you, sir.
No questions. Okay.
E-L.
State your name, spelling your last name for the record.
Officer Joshua Emmel, E-M-M-E-L,
And where are you currently employed?
the city of Springboro,
In what capacity?
as a police officer,
How long have you been an officer with the city of Springboro?
10 years.
And we've heard a little bit, we've heard you called detective, we've heard you called officer. Tell us a little bit about what you do at the city of Springboro.
Yes, I've held a bunch of roles at the city of Springboro. I was on the U.S. Marshals Task Force team. I'm an FTO, I'm an OIC, officer in charge, and a field training officer. I also have had a couple of stints in the detective section. The way our detective section works is we have rotations, so everybody gets a chance and we figure out the people that are good in the detective section. So for 2 years, from May 2023 to May 2025, I was in the detective section. I'm recently now as a patrol officer and scheduled to be back in the detective section in January.
So the rotation out of the detective section isn't like a demotion. It's just your standard protocol.
Correct.
And back on November 1st of 2024, were you a member of the detective section?
Yes,
And were you participating in a training that day?
I was.
And you've been here, you've seen the videos that have been played, correct?
Yes.
A number of officers that come out into the lobby in this incident are not in uniforms.
Correct.
Is that standard for detectives
Yes.
to wear plain clothes?
Yes.
Back on November 1st, 2024, did you have the occasion to interact with an individual by the name of Christopher Jones?
I did.
And how did you come to learn that there was something going on in the lobby that you needed to respond to?
Dispatcher Gabbard I was sitting I was sitting in training. We had OBI training in the roll call room.
What's OBI?
Abbreviations. It's operating a vehicle while impaired.
OBI training,
So
got it.
we were conducting that training. I was a trainee and I wasn't training. I wasn't the person doing teaching the training. Dispatcher Gabbard had came back to the roll call room where we were and said, there's a person that's talking to Bush that's very agitated. I think somebody needs to get out there with them.
Was it burning?
I immediately got up and started walking towards the lobby.
And what did you observe as you entered the lobby?
So just prior to the lobby, I heard Officer Morgan yell, "They are fighting." I then started sprinting towards the door. And when I opened the door, I observed Bush laying completely flat on his stomach and had his arms around Mr. Jones.
Oh my.
And what was your impression of what you were observing? What did that scene say to you?
So when I observed Mr. Jones and Sergeant Bush, Mr. Jones's shirt was completely ripped. Sergeant Bush being on the ground, to me, that doesn't look good in my eyes. It's a bad stance for Sergeant Bush. It appeared that there was a physical altercation between both of them.
And so what did you do at that point?
Subscribe to their
My
OnlyFans.
immediate reaction was to go and put or detain Mr. Jones and figure out what's going on. Like, we need to detain the subject so that we can further investigate what's going on to make sure there's no other safety issues.
And when you entered the lobby, did you see Mr. Jones's hands up?
Yes.
And despite his hands being up, did you still intend to detain him?
Yes.
What happens as you approach everybody? They're all three in pretty close proximity, right?
Yes.
What happens when you approach those individuals?
So when I approached Mr. Jones and Sergeant Bush was getting up. As Sergeant Bush was getting up and I was getting closer, Mr. Jones then pushed off of Sergeant Bush and then clenched his hands in a fist motion.
And how did you interpret that?
As a non-compliant, was not willing to be placed under arrest or be detained.
Had you given him at that point verbal commands?
I am not sure. I don't recall giving him verbal commands at that time. At that time, it's my, adrenaline's running a little bit higher because I have no idea what's going on. I have to assess the situation as I go. So a lot of times when your adrenaline's running a little bit high, I don't know if I had said anything or not.
And did he take his hands from the upwards position?
Yes.
And you said he clenched them in fists?
Yes.
What did you do based on that?
I wanted to gain control of his arms. My initial contact with him was to gain control of him. Immediately, as I was going up, I saw he was balling his fist. I wanted to get him down on the ground to be able to detain him. And our trainings, that's one of the techniques, that is to get somebody on the ground. It's easier to control somebody on the ground than them standing up.
And so what is the first physical contact you made with Mr. Jones?
The first physical contact is me grabbing Mr. Jones's arms.
Did you take a swing at him?
No.
Did you strike him?
No.
You grabbed his arms?
Yes.
How did Mr. Jones react to you grabbing his arms?
It was really quick. We latched on together. From what I can remember, we latched on together. And then we both went to the ground. After reviewing the camera or the video, as we'll see, it appears that Mr. Jones had pulled me down to the ground.
Your intent was to get to the ground?
Yes.
All along?
Yes.
But when you go to the ground on November 1st of 2024, was that under your control?
It was not.
What happens after you're on the ground?
When we were going to the ground, at some point, I believe the motion to the ground pulled me into the door that had broken.
You mentioned the door. Let me show you the door. And you saw Officer Morgan identify that there's a door in that little alcove that we see off camera, correct?
Yes.
He had trouble latching on. He needed to be bottle fed.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 5. May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Do you recognize that?
Yes.
And what is it?
I took this photo. This is a photo of the door that was broken.
And is this a very accurate depiction of, this is the internal locking mechanism in the door, is that correct?
Yes, it's wires that all of our doors have beep a pass to it, if that makes sense. I don't know the technical term to it, but you put a pass to it and it allows the door to unlock. That is what was malfunctioned at that.
So this was a secure door.
Yes.
Permission to publish, Your Honor?
Yeah.
And obviously the handle has been removed, is that correct?
Correct.
Did you strike this door on the way down?
Yes.
And as a result, was the door non-operational?
Yes, it would not open. It would not even twist.
And was the door operational prior to this incident on November 1st?
Yes, that is the door that Sergeant Bush walked out of prior to making contact with Mr. Jones.
So you're on the ground. You've struck the door. You're on the ground. What happens once you're on the ground?
It's a good question, Mads. Well, it would be the prosecutor that would offer a plea deal, but he's pretty stubborn, so maybe he just refused it. But it probably wasn't that good of a deal, because they really hammered him with charges over this, like 5 counts, 6 counts. It was really petty.
When we're on the ground, I felt Mr. Jones, I believe, tried to place me in a headlock. He had his arms over my head and was squeezing my head against his chest. A short time later, Mr. Jones went to go under me, and it felt like he was trying to push me up, and I had to grab his arms to hold me from being pushed off of him.
And when you were in that headlock, were you in control at that point?
Not complete control, nothing that I would like to be in. That's not complete control, as we call it in our tactics, our defensive tactics.
Is that an unsafe position for you to be in?
Yes.
Did other officers respond?
Yes.
Fair to say the entire everybody in the detectives training came out?
Yeah, it was more than detectives. There was also officers there, but yeah, there was detectives and officers there.
And what happens when all those other officers come out? What position are you in when the other officers start to come be at your position?
At that time, I had control of Mr. Jones's arms, but he was still tensed up. He was still actively, it wasn't compliant in any way.
What was he doing? If you had control of his arms, what was he able to do that was non-compliant?
He kept on pushing his arms up.
And were you attempting to secure his hands?
At the time, I was just waiting for other people to get there to help us, because I didn't think I was going to be able to control him on my own on what had happened.
Even as you have his arms and you're just waiting for additional people, do you strike him?
No.
Do you kick him?
No.
Do you do anything other than try to maintain as best a position as you can?
That's it.
So what happens when the other officers get there?
The other officers get there. We take his right arm, and as we take his right arm, you can tell there's still some resisting going on from Mr. Jones. Eventually, we were able to get his right arm in handcuffs, and we swung him over to his stomach, and then we were able to get his hands in handcuffs. I then walked away and regathered myself, made sure I was okay.
Sure.
Did you suffer any injuries as a result of this?
I did.
Can you tone down the
show you-
homoeroticism by 10%,
It's
please?
been marked as State's Exhibit 4. May I approach her?
Yes.
Can you, do you recognize and can you identify that photograph?
Yes, this is me with my left elbow that has an abrasion on it.
Did you have that abrasion prior to this incident?
No.
Are you aware of when in the incident you obtained this abrasion permission, publisher?
I don't know exactly when.
But is that a fair and accurate representation of the abrasion that you received?
Yes.
Now let's go back to the door for a minute. The door was not operational. Did Springboro have that door repaired?
Yes.
Is that a necessary door for the operation of your department?
Yes.
Your Honor, may we approach?
Yes.
Are you aware that the door locking mechanism was replaced?
Yes.
And the individuals from, employed by like the City of Springboro Maintenance Department do that? Or was that outsourced to somebody who fixes the door?
I believe it's outsourced.
And did Springboro receive an estimate for how much that part would cost? And then was that part in fact,
Objection, Judge. That's a compound question.
did City of Springboro receive an estimate for how much the locking mechanism would cost to replace?
Yes.
Was that locking mechanism then replaced in the door?
Yes.
And did you submit paperwork of that estimate and the invoice for the service call to actually, in fact, replace that lock?
Your Honor, objection.
Overruled.
I did.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 6. And are those the documents that reflect, well, strike that. What are those?
This is these are documents from Jerry May's Locksmith Service LLC that shows that the price of the lock and the service call labor repair lock in the lobby of the Springboro.
Lock twister's
And
already
was
locked or already broken
that
for you.
lock, well, how much was the locking mechanism?
$1,072.50.
And was that the
Is that a
locking,
magic
locking
lock?
mechanism ordered to be put in the door?
Yes.
And how much did it cost for that locking mechanism to be installed in the door?
How much you want to bet this lock was already broken and they just tried to pin this on the poor schlub? He didn't even really go near the door. They're just like, oh, he broke it. See, he broke it. It's probably the officer that actually broke it like a couple weeks before and he didn't tell anybody. And he just pinned it on this guy. The door was fixed before the estimate was produced. Yeah, okay. So they already had the guy scheduled. He was already going to be there. Another problem with the vandalism charge is that since the lock costs more than $1,000, it's a felony. But they paid too much for the lock, so even if he did commit vandalism, it shouldn't be a felony. Yeah, the vandalism charge is going to be interesting. It's kind of BS. Let me go back.
$1,072.50.
He's shaking his head like my dad when it comes to going out to fast food and seeing that it's $20 now. Well, I remember in 1950 when it was just $1 to get your lock replaced. What is this?
And was that the locking mechanism ordered to be put in the door?
Yes.
And how much did it cost for that locking mechanism to be installed in the door?
$80.00.
What day was that installed? Let me ask it this way.
Yeah.
Was it installed in short order?
Yes.
I'm
Was it-
sorry, Judge, I didn't hear that. Was
I
it
can read.
installed in what?
Short order, quickly.
Understood, thank you.
Yes. I believe it was installed within, I would say, an hour and a half to 2 hours.
I'm going to play you a little bit of State's Exhibit. Let's start with State's Exhibit 2. You would agree at this point, this is at 3:29:31, you're not in the lobby yet.
Correct.
Is this fair to say this is what you saw as you first arrived?
If you back it up just a little bit, Sergeant Bush was laying flat on the ground. Just seconds. Right there is what I saw first.
Okay, so you're maybe in the doorway.
Yes.
But you would agree Mr. Jones's hands were up as you approached him initially.
Yes.
Oh. So they just
You
took
indicated
advantage
that
of
you
this.
saw him push Sergeant Bush.
Yes.
Was that prior to you even getting to Mr. Jones?
Yes.
I'm going to play you now a portion of State's Exhibit number 1. This is your first contact with Mr. Jones, is that correct?
Correct.
Is he being given commands at that time?
Yes.
Is he obeying those commands?
No.
Is this the door in question?
Yes.
Can you see his hands? It's gonna fly. He's like,
We're not seeing.
turn around. We're gonna roll this way, okay? Let me swing for a second. No, we're gonna roll you this way. Grab his arm from that side. Okay,
We keep hearing people saying stop. Why is that being said?
Mr. Jones was not complying completely.
Did you use a safe
Even as
word?
he has 4 or 5 officers surrounding him.
Correct.
Okay, Listen, hold on, let go. Let go. Yeah, we got you.
And then you walk away at some point, correct?
Yeah, I believe it's around this time. I can't tell with the video, but I do walk away.
Okay. I have no further questions.
Cross?
Thank you, Aaron. Is it Himmel? Is that how you say it?
It's Emmel. E-M-M-E-L.
Himmel. I'm sorry.
Himmel?
So let's back up a little bit on this thing. You weren't present for anything that happened prior to you coming through that door.
I was not.
Okay. So you didn't hear any of the exchange or anything. Once you come through the door, this happened fairly quickly, correct? Within seconds of you coming through that door.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, Sergeant
And
Bush
you
didn't
come
last
running
long.
across the lobby, and when you saw Officer Bush on the ground, he was getting up again, correct?
Correct.
And you had seen Mr. Jones with his hands up, correct?
Correct.
Did you at any time say to Officer Bush, back off for a second, he's got his hands up?
No, I don't believe I did.
Okay. So at that time, you confront and actually make contact with Mr. Jones, right?
I did.
And you stated somehow you both end up on the ground, right?
Yes.
Okay. Is it fair to say you both lost your balance and went on the ground? You didn't jump on the ground, did you?
I did not jump on.
Okay. So when you were tangled with Mr. Jones, both of you fell on the ground simultaneously, correct?
Yes. Well, he was on the ground first before I was.
So he was under you.
Correct.
Okay.
So you were on top of him?
And
Yeah,
you stated something about being pulled to the door, but Mr. Jones was off balance, wasn't he? When you went down to the ground.
I can't speak to if he was off balance or not.
Were you off balance?
I would say so. Yes, I fell to the ground.
Okay. But you can't say whether he was or not, right?
Correct.
All right. And you guys scuffle around. Eventually, he's put in handcuffs. Do you recall him getting injuries to his wrists from the handcuffs?
No, I do not.
Did you see him after this? When you say that you left the scene, where did you go?
I walked. So after everything was done, I stayed in there until he was walked back to the THF. I did not follow him into the THF. I started doing detective work and doing E-Tech work and taking photos of injuries.
Oh, okay. Let's focus a little bit here. With your elbow, you didn't go to the hospital or anything, did you?
No, I did not.
Were you aware whether Officer Bush went to the hospital or anything?
I don't believe he did.
Okay. At any time, did you see injuries on Mr. Jones?
Maybe in photo, not that day, maybe in photos. Well, I didn't interact with him again, if that's
Okay.
what you're, but in photos afterwards, because I was an investigating detective of this case. So in photos afterwards, yes, I saw the injuries. I don't recall the injuries at this time.
Okay, but you were aware after the fact he had injuries, right?
Yes.
Do you recall any EMTs being called for anybody's injuries?
No, Again, I was doing other things, so I don't know if they were called or not. I don't recall that.
In your investigation, do you recall that finding out whether or not any EMTs showed up or anything?
No.
Okay. No first aid people or anything?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, there was a few questions here that were asked of you about this doorknob, okay? And that's the doorknob that was in back. This exhibit that you have, and I don't know where it is, exhibit
He
6.
has.
I have it.
You still have it? Yeah. A second, please. Thank you.
Yep.
It's a 2-page document, and the first page that has the exhibit number on it states that the cost was $80. Were you actually there to watch the doorknob be put on?
I was not.
So you don't know who put it on?
I do not.
Okay. So the other thing that you stated is that you thought it was replaced within hours, correct?
Yes, that's what I was told, and I had gone to the door and checked to see if it was fixed, and it was. And the original.
Was that-
I don't want to go any farther. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry?
I don't want to go any farther than what you haven't asked. So I'm
Of
sorry.
course not. So you're saying that in short order it was fixed, and you went like within hours, I think is what you said, right?
Correct.
Okay. Can you look at this exhibit 6? Who's Mike Eaton?
Mike Eaton is a facilities manager at the city of Springboro.
Okay. And that's his electronic signature at the bottom, right?
I would have to assume so. That's his name at the bottom of the page.
And at the top it says estimate, doesn't it?
It does.
Okay. And at the bottom by his signature, what's the date on that?
November 4th, 2024.
Okay. It says accepted date above it?
Correct.
Okay. That's not the first, is it?
It is not.
Okay. And then above that, it says estimate details. It says estimate date, and you see where it says that?
Yes.
What's the date on that one?
It's 11/3/2024.
Okay. This happened on a Friday, so that's some estimate date on Sunday. Fair to say?
Yeah.
So that's not the same day, is it?
Correct.
And then on exhibit 6, the actual page that has 80 on it, it says invoice at the top as opposed to estimate. And the invoice says invoice date, and that's the same date, November 3rd, isn't it?
Yes.
So this particular doorknob was the one that was in back of the area where you guys were on the ground, right?
Yes.
Can you hit this? I submit to you that this is a still shot from the area. You can still see, I think. Is this you?
That's me.
Yeah, that's you, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you can see the leg of the defendant under it, right?
Yes.
Correct?
Right there.
Is this a doorknob?
Yes.
Nothing for the
Redirect.
Did the doorknob itself break off?
No.
So you said you have to swipe into your doors, right?
Correct.
What about the door broke?
The electronical part of the door and the locking mechanism
Electronical?
inside the door.
No further questions.
Any recross?
Yes, Judge. You've been a police officer for a while, right?
10 years.
You hold any degrees or training in electronics?
Don't believe so.
Okay. And over your career, have you been called on to do any maintenance on doors?
No.
Okay. So when you made this statement to the prosecutor of what you believe was broken, you don't know that for certain, do you?
From statements from Mike Eaton, that is what was broken.
Hey, Judge,
So that
at
is
this time, I
hearsay.
would object, move to strike his testimony on that issue.
Ooh.
Approach.
Oh, I love this guy so much. He is such a good lawyer.
Testimony with regard. All right, I'll sustain the objection. The jury is instructed to disregard Officer Emmel's testimony with regard to what he believed was wrong with the door. All right, anything else?
No.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions for Officer Emmel, please reduce them to writing. Do not discuss or display any proposed question with other members of the jury.
Oh, that was great. So we got
All right, officer, there are some questions about this door. And again, all right, I'm going to hand this back to you. Court has highlighted the dates that were actually on those.
Yes.
The first question is, was the door fixed before the date of the estimate?
Yes.
And the next question is, was the door broken?
Classifications of the doors, the door wouldn't open normally. So I would classify that door as broken. It's a central lock door that we need to go in and out of as a city employee.
Any questions based on the jury's questions, Ms. Nicholson?
No, no.
Mr. Helbling?
Your Honor, we would just renew our objection
Thank you.
that we already stated.
All right, thank you, sir. You may step down. Thank you. Next witness, please.
State will call Officer Sierra Berry.
Your Honor, can we take a break and discuss some things out of the hearing of the jury, please?
Sure.
Okay, so they're going to argue. We'll skip the argument here. Basically, they want to show the next part of the altercation, and the defense objects. It gets overruled. But one of the things the defense is concerned about is the defendant freaks out at one of the officers because he thinks it's the guy who lied and gave him a ticket for not wearing a seatbelt when he was. And the officer makes some kind of comment like, when the defendant realizes he was not the same officer, well, this officer is black. So he makes a comment saying, oh, I guess we all look the same. And the defense lawyer did not want that comment being played to the jury. Let me see if we have closed caption yet. Yeah, Scott said that. Yeah, he's a former JAG.
Swear from the testimony of these proceedings to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, I do.
I'm seat, water if you need it, and that's the screen.
May I proceed, Your Honor?
Please.
Good morning. Could you please give us your name and spell your first and your last name?
Sierra Berry, CIARRA BARRIE.
And where are you currently employed?
City of Springboro,
In what capacity?
police officer.
How long have you been a police officer with the city of Springboro?
About 2 years.
And what are your job duties and responsibilities as a police officer?
Responding to calls, traffic operations.
And were you so employed and on duty on November 1st of 2024?
Yes.
And did you have occasion that day to interact with an individual by the name of Christopher Jones?
Yes.
We've heard a lot in this trial about an incident that occurred in the lobby. Were you involved in the incident that occurred in the lobby?
I was not in the lobby, no.
You were not in the lobby. Did you make contact with Mr. Jones shortly after he was in the lobby?
Yes.
Where was that at?
It was back in the police department secured area. He was being walked back to our temporary holding facility.
Okay. And then did you continue to interact with him while he was in the temporary holding facility?
Yes.
And were you wearing a body camera that day?
Yes.
And was it operational?
Yes.
And did it record your interactions with Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Have you reviewed that video?
Yes.
Is it a fair and accurate representation of your interaction and Mr. Jones back in the THF?
Yes.
Did you ultimately were you the individual that transported Mr. Jones to jail that day?
I was.
Your Honor, at this time, permission to play a portion of State's Exhibit 7.
Proceed.
So I'm gonna pause it. Just orient us. Where are you right now?
So we're inside of the secured area of the police department.
Are you in the THF yet?
No.
Okay. And who do we see in the camera view right now?
So that with no shirt on, no partial shirt is Christopher Jones and another officer.
And do you see Mr. Jones in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Could you please identify and point out something he's wearing?
The black suit.
Can you have him take his shirt off so I can identify him?
This is your cruiser.
What's going on here? Simmons, Sarah Jones, is my attorney, she's also my wife. 937-684-2681. They're here. There you go. So I wanted to check, make sure there's nothing else out there, but I appreciate that. There was some glass laying on the floor. Oh, not mine. I don't like fucking bullies and I don't put up with them. I will not put up with them.
Hey, just turn around. Just turn around.
I ain't talking to you.
Hey, stop.
The attitude right now.
Ooh.
Sit down right here. Sit down right here. Sit down.
You need to change.
I like how she like puts her hand on his stomach. Is the confidence exuding from such a gut is just it's hard for the average person to behold. Like there's such power in that gut. Oh, that he is a sexual stallion, chat. Look at that. Rawr.
Change the attitude right now.
Sit down right here. Sit down right here. Sit down.
You need to change your attitude
Sit
now.
down. You're not going to
You ask me, I will comply.
Sit
You
down.
demand things, we're gonna have problems.
Okay, sit down.
Let's
Ask me
find
to
it
sit
as
down.
tough.
Please sit down.
There we go.
Oh, I love it when a girl says please to me.
It's as simple as that.
What's the magic word?
Okay, I didn't do anything to you. I wasn't over there, all right?
Doesn't
So
matter.
I'm dealing with you now. But
Doesn't matter.
don't treat me with
You ask me, and
disrespect.
I will do whatever I can to help you. You try to order me around, we're gonna have problems. Fair enough?
Okay.
Sir, my name's Erin Morgan. I know I look
Yeah, I know.
ridiculous right now.
No, I know who you are.
What's your name?
Oh,
Chris Jones.
Chris, will you talk to me?
Yes.
oh.
Okay, yesterday I got pulled over and was issued a ticket for speeding on Pioneer and no seatbelt. I was wearing a seatbelt. The officer lied. That's why I'm here.
Okay. And you want to talk to me? Okay, I understand. I'm sorry you're frustrated, okay? I don't want you to get any more work that's in the office, okay?
2031.
It doesn't have to go like this, okay?
Yeah, it doesn't. Just get him here, him and I will have a conversation and do whatever is necessary.
So the chief's not here.
When will he be here? Okay, fair enough. Why didn't somebody just say that to begin with?
I'm sorry, I wasn't sure. But
Communication is what keeps you guys safe and everybody happy.
now on your
Oh God, I bet he uses that same rant with his wife. Can't you just communicate? God, it's what keeps us, it's what helps this relationship. Come on, communication is a two-way street, guys.
ticket, that's why you have a court date. Okay? And I know it's not fun to go to court, but
I have no issues with going to court. My wife's a lawyer.
Okay, but see, that's what I'm saying is that that's what that court date is for.
Well, that's good because you'll be going to court.
So you can say, look, this guy's a
Right
liar.
now, I'm here to let the chief know that he has an officer that has an issue. And I'm not gonna back down from
I
this.
understand that, but before that court date, the chief can't do anything with that ticket
He can
until.
at least be informed of the situation. Get going back down to communications.
I understand that. So, but typically, the way that it typically works is that someone can make an appointment and set it up, and you would make sure that he's here, so you know what else. If you ever want to talk to him in the future, okay?
Fair enough.
Are you heard at all, Chris?
No.
Is,
Nobody here can hurt.
Oh, it'd be great if she goes up to him wearing those gloves and be like, "All right, can you bend over for your prostate exam, sir?"
do you have, well, I understand, but I have to ask, I want to make sure you're okay, okay? Stop talking, okay, what? I just want to make sure you're good. It does?
No.
Do you have any weapons on your person?
That's better.
Do you mind?
Yes, I do.
Oh, man.
So I'm trying to give you an option of whoever makes you feel more comfortable.
Can you guys stand up for me, please? Thank you.
Oh.
Just turn around, face forward for me.
Well, I was kidding about the prostate exam, ma'am. I was kidding. Oh, sure, it's the size of a lemon. My God.
Yeah, a liar. Get him out of here.
Oh,
Get him out of
that's
here.
happiness.
You're not gonna demand for us to do.
Get him out of here. You,
Have a seat.
we're gonna be intertwined for a while.
Have a seat.
Oh.
Wrong person. You do. Please, do something. Do
Hey,
something.
Chris, is this an issue over a traffic ticket?
Yeah.
Okay, it's not an issue. You don't want to catch another charge over a traffic ticket.
No, I don't.
Okay, so you can go to court and explain your case. So there's no reason to be
Get him
doing
out of
this.
here, please.
He's okay. He's
Please,
allowed
no.
to be here.
He is the issue.
Okay.
Please
then-
get him out of here.
No, Chris, no, he works here.
I don't care where he works.
Well,
He's a
here's-
fucking liar, and I don't deal with fucking
I'm
liars.
sorry that's the way you feel about him, but he's allowed to be here, okay?
He's a fucking liar.
Oh, that guy's man spreading.
I stopped it at 5:06 for the record. You go prepare a cruiser at this point, correct?
Yes.
Ms. Nicholson, just so that we're clear, you're using a time at the bottom bar, not the time at the top.
Correct. I'm using 5 minutes and 6 seconds into the video. The timestamp is 14:37:28.
All right, thank you.
Do you eventually come back into the THF and take some photographs of Mr. Jones?
I do.
Did he report, well, strike, what did you take photographs of?
His elbow and his hand and also overall pictures.
Okay, and why'd you take a photograph of his elbow and his hand?
He had a small cut on his left elbow, I believe, and his right wrist.
Did he otherwise report being injured to you in any way?
No.
And did he ever ask for medical attention?
No.
What was his demeanor as you transported him to the jail?
He started to calm down. However, he explained that he wasn't going to rest until the issue was addressed with said officer that he was there for in the first place.
Okay.
Um,
If I could have just a moment, Your Honor. If I could have just one more second, Your Honor.
Okay.
Did the defendant make any statements as he was in the car being transported about what had transpired during the
Yeah.
incident?
he said that he was at the police department to talk to the chief, and he got an officer that had an attitude. So he said something to the effect of, I got shitty right back with him. And then he went hands-on and I didn't let him go hands-on.
Okay. At any point, did he say he had been struck by an officer?
No, he said the officer went hands-on.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Squad.
Thank you, Your Honor. Officer, you arrived after the incident happened in the lobby, correct?
Correct,
So you have no idea what happened, correct?
correct.
Okay. Since that time, I guess back in November 1st of 24, you had only been an officer for approximately a year. Is that what you said? You've been on the
At
first two-
Springboro,
At Springboro. Where were you an officer, or were you an officer before?
yes, at
Where?
city of Miamisburg.
Okay. So you arrive, was there any particular reason they chose you to transport him?
I was beginning my shift.
Okay, so you were just coming on the shift.
Yes.
Okay, I gotcha. When you were in the room with him at the beginning, he did calm down after an initial sort of, as we saw in the video, right? He started to calm down.
Yes.
And Officer Morgan had the opportunity to talk to him, correct?
Yes.
And she told him that did you hear on the video when she said he's not here till Monday?
I did hear that.
Okay, your chief. Did you know your chief wasn't going to be there on Friday?
No.
Okay, because a couple other officers stated that, and I didn't know if there was an announcement or something made.
Not that I recall.
Okay, so while you were sitting there, you found out your chief's not there. Other than that, and he basically said the comments about the communication, correct?
Yes.
Heard that. You didn't know anything else about your chief that particular day? Right?
No, I don't keep track of the chief's schedule.
Okay. And if there's something major, does he make an announcement about it? Like, I'm going to be gone for a week or
Objection,
vacation?
Your Honor, to relevance at this point. She's
Oh.
already,
I don't recall receiving emails from the chief.
Okay. Is that how he normally communicates?
I don't really know his schedule. I don't keep track of his schedule. I don't really hear from him if he's going on vacation or something like that.
Okay. All right. Your Honor, may I approach a witness?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to hand you what's been marked as L1, defendant's L1. I'd like you to look at that, please. Let me know when you're done.
I'm ready.
With regard to L1, did you take those pictures?
I did.
Are they a fair and accurate representation of the pictures you took?
Yes.
There's some numbers at the top of this page. Do you know what those numbers are?
The first number starting with a Z
Yes.
is the report number,
Okay. What's the second number with a Z?
my badge number.
Okay. And then the date?
Correct.
Okay. Permission to publish?
Yes.
So this was a condition that Mr. Jones was in at the time you took these pictures. You see his elbow looks like it's bleeding, correct?
Yes.
And you stated that you asked him if he was hurt, correct?
Yes.
And you saw this?
Yes.
Okay. So he did have an injury, correct?
Yes.
Did you call any EMTs at all?
No.
Did you apply any kind of first aid to him?
No.
Do you know if anybody else applied first aid to him?
Not that I know of.
So nobody came out to clean up his wound at the time?
Correct.
I'm going to hand you what's been marked as Defendant's Exhibit L2. The record reflects I'm handing it to the witness. Do you recognize that photo?
Yes.
Was that a photo that you took?
Yes.
Okay. And again, it's got the same numbers, the report number on the top, along with your badge number and the date, correct?
Yes.
Permission to publish?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So, as you can see, did you notice the markings on his wrists?
Yes.
And did you ask him about those markings at all?
Not that I recall. I recall Chris saying that he was not injured, and he also said something to the effect of "nobody can hurt me."
Okay. But that was after.
I'm
That was after you asked him if he wanted some medical attention. I take it.
I don't believe I asked him that.
Okay. So, do you know if anybody took a look at these injuries to his wrists?
I did right there,
Okay.
but a medical professional, no.
Okay. And you don't have any training as a medical professional?
Nope. other than basic.
You saw in the video that the officer who came in, the other officer, what was his name?
Which other officer? There was multiple.
The African-American officer that came in.
Officer Scott.
Scott, okay. Were you aware, did you have an occasion to come back in and hear that the defendant apologized to him?
Not that I remember.
Do you recall that he said, I had the wrong person?
Yes.
I'm just glad this defendant was not wearing a Burger King crown.
Okay. And were you standing there when he did apologize, or do you have any recollection of that right now?
I don't.
Okay. Is it possible he did apologize?
Yes.
Objection, Your Honor.
Thank you. One moment, Your Honor. Nothing further.
Recross or redirect?
Briefly, thank you. I'm gonna put up L2 that Mr. Hubling just showed you. On the picture on the left side, it appears Mr. Jones is in 2 sets of handcuffs. Correct?
Correct.
You did not handcuff him. Am I accurate in that?
Initially, I didn't.
Okay. Have you ever placed double handcuffs on someone?
Yes.
What is the reason for doing that?
Just to
No.
provide them more comfort and a little bit more maneuverability with their shoulders and their hands.
And Mr. Hubling just asked you about Officer Scott. You were not present for the entirety of Mr. Jones's interaction with Officer Scott. Is that correct?
Correct.
Is it fair to say Officer Scott is not the individual who wrote him a traffic ticket?
Correct.
And so if Mr. Jones did apologize, you are not aware of what transpired to get to that apology, correct?
Correct.
I have no further questions.
Any recross?
When Mr. Jones was in the police station, did anybody ask him if he had any prior injuries or anything about his medical condition?
Objection outside the scope.
Sustained.
Yeah.
Nothing further.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions for this officer, please reduce them to writing. Do not discuss or display any proposed question with us.
Come on.
And I'm not. Officer Berry, the members of the jury, they have one question, and I'm not really sure. The question reads verbatim: is the COP office located in a restricted area or public?
Cop office.
COP
That's what it
office.
says. Now, there's been some reference to a room or an office. What do you call that?
The THF. The temporary
THF.
facility.
So let's assume that that's what the police department is
No.
in a public building,
Yes.
but to access the actual offices, they are
We
restricted.
shouldn't be
Yes.
assuming.
Okay, and this
THF.
THF, what's that stand for?
Temporary holding facility.
Is that in a restricted area?
Yes.
Any questions based on the jury's question and my interpretation of the question?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right, you may step down, you're excused. All right, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we are required to take a break. So I know that there's some refreshments back there for you. Go ahead and let's take about 15 minutes right now. Well, it might be 20, so let's come back at 9. Ms. Nicholson, you were resting?
Correct, Your Honor. We're pending the admission of exhibits.
All right, I show exhibit number 1, the body cam. I'm sorry.
Photo of the door because, yes, Your Honor. We would object to that photo of the door because we don't believe there was enough foundation laid.
Well, we'll cover that in a minute. I'm gonna overrule the objection for now. That's the 6 and 7, 6, 5 and 6. 7 is the body cam of Officer Berry. Any objection?
No.
All right. So
I'm not admitting 7 because we only.
you're not
played-
offering 7.
We're not offering 7 because we only played that limited.
Okay, so
portion.
7 is out, not being offered. Okay. So with that, the state rests.
Yes.
Mr. Helbling, you wish to be heard on 29?
Yes, Your Honor. Pursuant to Criminal Rule 29, we would make a motion for an acquittal based on what we've heard so far in this trial with the prosecution's case in chief. We believe that starting with the assault charge, it was pretty obvious from the videos that Mr. Jones did not start the altercation that was started by the officer. It was escalated by the officer throughout the event. We also feel that when the other officer, Morgan, came out, Mr. Jones was attempting to comply with that. The officer escalated it, Officer Bush escalated that in the lobby, despite the fact that the defendant had his hands up, and the event would have been stopped at that point. After that, because of the activity of Sergeant Bush, it continued, and then it also continued when Officer Emmel, if I can pronounce his name correctly, entered the lobby. When he entered the lobby, he testified that he saw his hands of Mr. Jones were up. Instead of stopping and addressing the situation, he escalated it along with Sergeant Bush. As a result of that, the two, Officer Emmel and Mr. Jones, fell. When they fell, there was no criminal intent on the part of Mr. Jones.
Good.
That necessitates a finding of guilty on the vandalism.
Yep.
He didn't do it knowingly. He didn't do it purposely. He didn't do it in any manner.
Vandalism was a weird charge. I mean, surely there's a way to some kind of charge for damage to property accidentally. There was no intent to damage the door.
He was defending himself, just as he was defending himself earlier. The other issue on the doorknob, I don't think that the state has proven, but you know about that. Okay.
All right. I'm going to deny your request for the Rule 29 on counts 1, 2, 4, and 5, construing the evidence most strongly in favor of the state. These are all questions of fact, and the court is not the trier of fact. There is at least some evidence before the court and the jury for them to make a decision on this case. As to count 3, the vandalism, Rule 29 is granted. That count is dismissed. I'm removing it from the jury instructions.
For the record, Judge, I didn't comment on the last one on obstructing official business, and I'd like to make
Okay,
a record.
you've made your motion, and again, if you want to make a record, I don't mind, but I'm going to deny. Again, I have to construe the evidence most strongly in favor of the state, and there's some testimony, there's some evidence that's been presented that the jury could find him guilty on those, and I understand the factual arguments, but I am not the trier of fact. I am here only to be the gatekeeper, and I have to construe the evidence most strongly in their favor at this stage of the proceedings. So again, those are all questions of fact, and there are questions of fact, and again, arguments that you can make on those counts.
Well, the last two, Judge, the obstructing official business and the resisting arrest, our position is the obstructing official business requires purposely, and there's no evidence of that on the part of the defendant, that he purposely did it for that purpose. Under that statute, we would make a motion for Rule 29 acquittal, and also on the resisting arrest, we believe, again, based on the facts that we've stated, that particular charge should be dismissed also under Rule 29.
Okay, it's the same thing as far as the court's concerned. There is some evidence before the court, and again, with regard to the mental state of the defendant and what applies to those specific ones, those specific counts are questions of fact for the jury to decide. But there is some evidence in there, in the totality of circumstances, that the jury could find him guilty of those offenses. But they're questions of fact that I'm going to let the jury decide those. Vandalism is dismissed.
Understood. Thank you, Your Honor.
Is the defense has a number of exhibits. You're not calling any witnesses, as you told me. I have exhibits A.
Okay, so then I think we can get to closing now, chat. Yeah, I love a good JOA. Yep. Always fascinating. Can be charged with criminal damaging with a reckless mens rea if he used a flammable or explosive device. Sure. But otherwise knowingly is mens rea for all property damage crimes in Ohio. I see. Okay. So then we're going to skip. Here comes the jury. Or no.
Reiterate my rule 29.
All right. Oh boy. Someone's here. Hello.
Oh, hi.
How are you?
Good. I had my coffee.
There you go. So do you have any
Yeah.
idea what this is about?
No,
Okay. Well, you
a
missed a good one.
seatbelt.
Yes. I'll show you the video real quick just to
Yay.
refresh
Let's do that.
everybody's memory.
Okie dokie.
Yes,
Okay,
this man,
cat.
this gentleman got a ticket for not wearing a seatbelt. He objected. He said he was wearing a seatbelt and wanted to go speak to the chief of police. Arr. So he went to speak to the officer's manager, and within 20 seconds, 10 of which was the officer taking a piss, washing his hands and leaving the bathroom. Another 10 seconds, the guy and him were already fighting.
What, fisticuffs?
Yeah.
Oh,
And we saw the video of the officer pissing too.
Do you have that?
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
Okay. Well, let's play this first and then.
All right. What a champ.
I know. Like, I've never seen an officer, like, because it goes back like 30 seconds when he turned the body camera on.
Yeah.
So it went back and caught him in the bathroom. And they played that part to the jury, which is just the greatest thing ever.
He whipped it
The Warren
out.
County man has been indicted on charges for assault after allegedly getting into a wrestling match with officers inside the lobby of a police station. This newly released surveillance video you're seeing here shows how it all went down.
Man walking through the lobby of the Springboro Police Department is Christopher Jones. Police tell us he drove down to the station upset about a traffic ticket he received earlier in the week. But when an officer comes out to speak with him, the situation quickly escalates. The two get into a wrestling match before the tussle moves out of view of the camera. In the midst of the struggle, they hit a door in the station with enough force to break the handle off the outside. And eventually, officers get Jones in handcuffs.
I don't like bullies and I don't put up with them.
Where the puppy come from?
Hey,
Whose puppy was that? That didn't look like a police dog.
No, well, it was like a Officer Blue. It was like a comfort dog that got out. And there was an officer who did like community outreach. And she was dressed like Barbie because it happened right after Halloween. Officer Barbie. So she's wearing all pink. She's over there trying to talk to the guy. And as much as I want to make fun of her, she's the only one that actually did anything to de-escalate the situation and help.
Giving someone a Barbie is always going to help.
And apparently the dog.
Unless you're triggered by Barbies, which
Oh, yeah.
I've never quite liked Barbies, and I never gave Barbies to my daughter. I was like, she's bad influence.
Yes. And the apparently Officer Blue got out the door too during this whole scuffle and they had to go chase him down. So
This is bloody brilliant.
right. And the cross of the main or the Officer Bush or Sergeant Bush, the guy who like got into it with him, it's just so good.
Just nothing. I ain't talking to you.
Jones appears to be increasingly frustrated as officers tell him to sit down, at one point getting angry that they didn't say please.
Don't treat me with
You ask me, and I will do whatever I can to help you. You try to order me around, we're gonna have problems. Fair enough?
This week, Jones was indicted on 2
Need
counts of
manners.
felony level assault, 1 fifth-degree
Hey,
felony
man,
for vandalism, obstructing official business, and resisting arrest. While in handcuffs, Jones tells police the reason he was at the station in the first place was to talk to the chief because he believes an officer lied about him not wearing a seatbelt.
Right now, I'm here to let the chief know that he has an officer that has an issue. And I'm not gonna back down from this.
I understand that.
Jones is scheduled to be arraigned on those charges on February 8th.
I like him.
The Gunt of Justice.
The Guns of Justice. Look. Okay, so I can't help it. I'm on his side.
Yeah. He's kind of an asshole,
Sorry.
but at the same time, the cops were like,
He's got manners.
and, oh, my favorite part is Sergeant Bush, the detective that was an asshole,
Yeah.
complained that he got rug burns on his knees.
Oh, please. He probably got rug burns on his knees from someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
It was very homoerotic, let's just say.
Very.
So then we got this video, which is just amazing.
Half Irish. Yeah. Of course. Team defendant. This dude's a legend.
He is a bogan.
Bit of a bogan. No, bogans don't say please.
True.
He's an upper middle class bogan.
When you activate your body worn camera, does it automatically jump back a period of time?
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe a minute.
Yeah. Yeah. It jumped back about a minute, showed me taking a piss. Yeah. Oh.
But he has manners. He would really prefer that his wiener were pixelated.
Well, it doesn't show the wiener, thankfully. Almost does.
Did you activate it as you were heading out to the lobby to speak with Mr. Jones?
Yes,
How do you activate your camera?
just push a button and you hear a beep.
No matter how you shake and dance, lest you drops always fall in your pants. Well, careful where you look, officer. There you go. Wash your hands with soap, sir. There you go. Good boy. Good boy using soap.
Bloody good thing he did.
I know. He would have gotten in so much trouble. Would have been made fun of. Right? So now he leaves.
Yeah, I think he was wearing a seatbelt too. Yep.
Is that you activating your camera?
Yes.
He also got a speeding ticket and didn't say anything about it.
Okay, so he probably was speeding. He's arguing about the seatbelt.
So
I'm not. Then get the chief.
You're gonna settle down or you can leave?
You're gonna get the chief.
Did you hear what I said?
Did you hear what I said?
I'm gonna give you one more chance to listen.
Get
If you want
Get the
help,
chief.
you need to
Get the chief.
leave.
Get the chief.
We'll sit here all day.
Get the chief. You can either do it or I'll find you.
No, you won't.
Yeah, I will.
Back up. Get your hands out of your pockets.
No. Try it. Come on. Come on.
Wait.
Who's Officer Barbie?
Okay, Cop touched him first.
The officer did.
Yeah, Cop touched
He
him
wasn't-
first. From the other angle, it looked like
Yeah.
the defendant
He took a
went
step
straight for
forward,
him. Yeah.
but the defendant did not engage. He just took a step forward to continue talking. The officer told him to take his hands out of his pockets
Yeah.
because it was a threat. When he
Yeah.
didn't take his hands out of his pockets, he thought it was a threat because his hands were in his pockets. He wanted his hands to then stay in his pockets because it was a threat. So he tried to grab his hands,
Yeah.
but he didn't tell him you're detained, you're under arrest.
No, I did nothing
He
like
gave
that.
him no
yeah.
lawful orders.
Mm.
So it's like, yeah, the
Yeah,
defendant
this
was
is
an
a
ass,
bit iffy.
right? Like
Yeah.
the defendant was an ass, but at the same time, the cop was totally.
He was just triggered.
Can you see his hands?
Indicators.
We're all rolling this way, okay? I just wait for saying. No, we'll leave this way. Somebody grab his arm from that side. Okay, stop.
So annoying.
Trying to get some pics for Finder.
Listen, hold on, let go. Let go of their hand. Let go.
Oh,
Is this really necessary?
sure.
All right, we'll adjust these in a second. All right. No. Yes. You don't get involved with this. It's not going to go. That lying motherfucker just got to see.
Oh, and he ruined his shirt as well. Yeah, I have the same underwear. So,
Cop could have de-escalated that so easily.
yeah.
So
And-
easily.
Officer Barbie actually like tells him, look at me, just calm down, tries
Yeah.
to help things. And
Mhm.
oh, bye, Louise. Thanks for being here. Should be done in a little bit. So we're going to get back to closing now, but I would suggest going
Yeah.
back and watching the Cross of Sergeant Bush. It's amazing.
Sergeant Bush is the
Uh,
wiener guy.
Yeah, the wiener guy.
Fantastic.
I wonder how often does that happen now? Like where a cop has to turn his body cam on and it goes back like a minute. So he's in like some awkward position, like using the
How
bathroom.
does it even do that?
Well, they were
So it's actually recording all the time.
oh
kind
yeah,
of.
yeah, they're always live. But when you turn it on and activate it, it goes back like 30 seconds to a minute without sound. And then from the moment you activate it, sound starts working,
That freaked me out.
right? So
Because
as long
if
as
you did something bad, if you did something bad, you wouldn't turn it on immediately.
correct,
Yeah.
unless somebody like turns it on for you to be a dick.
Doom. Turn it on, you dirty rat.
To ask.
Go ahead.
At the close of my case, I did not reiterate my Rule 29. I just want for the record, same arguments.
Very good.
Thank you.
Does the
Oh,
court
nice goatee.
Exhibit 7 is a part of the record because of the conversations
Yes,
that were had yesterday?
yes, please.
Yeah, that's
Which exhibit was that? I'm sorry.
That was the last video that we played this morning.
Oh, okay.
That'll be part of the record,
oh, whoops.
But not.
but not.
Oh,
not an
no.
exhibit.
Gotcha. Thank you, Your Honor.
Since there was some argument about that, I think that's important.
Defendant told you
Yep.
one department.
It's in the testimony.
So we got closing, then verdict.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've now heard all of the evidence and testimony in this case. I want to spend some time talking with you about what the evidence showed and how that evidence fits within the law that Judge Chief is going to instruct you on shortly. The evidence in this case is that a very clearly agitated Christopher Jones went into the Springboro Police Department on November 1st, 2024, demanding to see the Chief of Police. Everyone you heard from that interacted with the defendant, from Annie Frazier to Sergeant Bush to Officer Morgan to Officer Emmel, described him as agitated before, during, and after the incident. When Sergeant Bush emerges from the door into the lobby and the defendant learns he is not the chief, the defendant continues to escalate. You can observe his tone and his body language for yourself. He doesn't ask to see the chief, he demands to see the chief, repeatedly. And it doesn't matter what Sergeant Bush says to him. He makes statements that he'll find the chief himself if Sergeant Bush doesn't produce him. Sergeant Bush told you why he interpreted that as a threat. And by that point, the defendant has already stepped towards Sergeant Bush, closing that 6-foot gap that Sergeant Bush told you he likes to leave. Sergeant Bush is assessing the situation. That's his job. He sees an agitated person, demanding to see, threatening even, to see the chief, has bulky pants on, hands in his pockets. He hasn't gone through a metal detector. He is unknown if he has weapons or what his intentions are. So at that point, Sergeant Bush makes a simple request. Tells the defendant to back up, to take his hands out of his pockets. Defendant says no. Asks the defendant to leave. Defendant says no. So Sergeant Bush attempts to grab the defendant's arm to gain some control of the situation and detain him. The defendant's not going to let that happen. So Sergeant Bush does what he can and grabs the defendant's shirt. Again, to have some amount of control over the defendant's movements.
Well, my favorite part when Sergeant Bush testified, he said that he was trying to pull the shirt towards him, but he wasn't pulling the defendant towards him.
Oh, right. So you just wanted to have a good look at the shirt. Oh, this is nice cotton.
Oh, yeah. Who makes this? This is high quality. But you didn't want the defendant closer to him.
No, no, no.
Like, it was amazing, Cross.
The defendant doesn't back away. He leans into that contact. And he says,
what are you trying to do? Like, how stretchy is it?
Come on. And then Sergeant Bush is on the floor. But rather than back away at that point, the defendant drags him across the lobby. And when Officer Morgan enters, she sees the defendant over Sergeant Bush looking like he is ready to throw a punch.
I didn't see him dragging anybody.
She gets the defendant's attention, and briefly he complies.
He basically, the officer testifies that he loses his balance like right away and falls over. So it's like they're both idiots who lost their balance, and it was kind of like a dumb match, like skirmish.
Cop grabs his t-shirt.
Yeah.
If the cop loses his balance, that's his stupid fault.
Yeah. Exactly.
And defendant takes a step. Of course he's going to take a step because his shirt's being pulled off him.
Yeah. Yeah, he did step closer. It's not illegal, but no, you're right. The jury may take it as aggressive enough to justify the cop's reaction, but it's really going to be up to the jury.
And this is all because he walked into the police station pissed off. And
yes,
I have a problem with this. Are you not allowed to be pissed off with the cops? Basically.
I mean, I can see why the cops would be apprehensive. Because you get, in America, you get some guy in the police station pissed off wanting to see the chief of police. The way he did it was not smart, but his reaction was not at the point where he needed to. He could have tried at least.
De-escalate.
He puts his hands up. But as soon as Officer Emmel enters the lobby, before Officer Emmel even makes it to him, he shoves Sergeant Bush, who's not even all the way up yet, and immediately engages with Officer Emmel. They don't fall to the ground. The defendant takes Officer Emmel to the ground,
No, they fell.
puts him in a headlock. Officer Emmel told you he was not in control of that situation. He is able to get some control over the defendant's arms and maintains that position until additional help arrives. But even as 4 or 5 officers join in an attempt to gain the defendant's compliance, he continues to resist. He does not willingly produce his hands, and he does not willingly allow himself to be handcuffed. Eventually, he is secured, taken back to the THF, and he remains heightened even there. Based on that sequence of events, the defendant is charged with 2 counts of assault. Judge Cheap is going to instruct you that the state must prove beyond a reasonable doubt that on or about November 1st of 2024 in Warren County, Ohio, the defendant knowingly caused or attempted to cause physical harm to Sergeant Larry Bush and Officer Josh Emmel, who were peace officers at the time. That is an additional finding. A person acts knowingly, regardless of purpose, when they are aware that their conduct will probably be of a certain nature or probably cause a certain result. You are never going to hear Judge Cheap instruct you in this case that the state has to prove that the defendant intended to cause harm. Merely he undertook actions that he knew could cause a certain result, would probably be of a certain nature, and could cause harm. And physical harm is any injury, illness, or physiological impairment, regardless of its gravity or duration. You heard questions about hospital visits, EMS calls. You're never going to hear an instruction from Judge Cheap that a showing of that is required. You saw the photographs of the injuries suffered by Sergeant Bush and Officer Emmel, and you saw from the video absolutely how they sustained those injuries. The judge is also going to instruct you on the charge of obstructing official business and tell you that the state must prove that on or about November 1st in Warren County, Ohio, the defendant, without privilege to do so and with purpose to prevent, obstruct, or delay the performance by a public official of any authorized act within his official capacity, did an act that hampered or impeded a public official in the performance of his lawful duties. That is wordy. Essentially, he did something that he wasn't privileged to do, hindered and impeded a law enforcement officer doing his job. The judge will tell you that a person acts purposely when it is their specific intention to cause a certain result or engage in conduct of a certain nature. When Officer Emmel confronts him and he takes Officer Emmel to the ground and he refuses to let officers of the Springboro Police Department place him in handcuffs, restrain him, he is obstructing official business. What other purpose could he have had than to not let himself get detained? That was his intent. That is why he engaged with Officer Emmel. He was not going to let himself be detained. Hamper or impede means to do some affirmative act that disrupts, hinders, or stops the progress of the public official. Affirmative act. There's nothing in this case where the defendant just ignores. He always responds verbally. He always engages physically. And there will be a further finding if you find the defendant guilty of obstructing that it caused a risk of physical harm to any person. A risk is a significant possibility as contrasted with a remote possibility. Well, in this case, the defendant's conduct certainly created a risk because Officer Emmel and the defendant both suffered injuries. And the judge is going to instruct you on resisting arrest and tell you the state needs to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant recklessly or by force resisted or interfered with a lawful arrest of himself. And during the course of that, he caused physical harm to a law enforcement officer. The judge is going to tell you that a person acts recklessly when with heedless indifference to the consequences, he disregards a substantial and unjustifiable risk that his conduct is likely to be of a certain nature. resist or interfere, to oppose, obstruct, hinder, impede, interrupt, or prevent an arrest by any means, force, or such as just going limp. Impassive conduct. Now, the judge is going to give you some definitions for what an arrest and lawful arrest are. Things to keep in mind. For a lawful arrest to occur, a police officer, under the facts and circumstances in evidence, would have believed the following elements of assault were being or had been committed by the defendant. I submit to you the state has proven assault to you beyond a reasonable doubt, but that is not the standard for resisting arrest for a lawful arrest. It's that a law enforcement officer, reasonable law enforcement officer, would believe that an assault was occurring or had occurred. Sergeant Bush, Officer Emmel, Officer Morgan, those other responding officers believed a crime had been committed. When they enter the lobby, they see the defendant over top Sergeant Bush, ready to strike. Officer Emmel sees him on the floor, and the defendant shoves Sergeant Bush away to pull Officer Emmel to the floor. I'm gonna leave you with this instruction the judge is going to give you regarding the defendant's ability to use self-defense against a law enforcement officer. In the absence of excessive or unnecessary force by law enforcement officers, a private citizen may not use force against the law enforcement officer or use force to resist arrest by the law enforcement officer, as long as they are in the performance of their official duties, whether or not the arrest is illegal under the circumstances. On November 1st of 2024, the defendant wasn't at Springboro PD to have a conversation. He wasn't interested in talking. He was looking for a confrontation. And so when Sergeant Bush grabs hold of the defendant's shirt as a means of attempting to exert some control over the situation, the defendant leans into that contact with the attitude, "Let's go."
Yeah.
These videos, ladies and gentlemen, speak for themselves. Watch them in their entirety. This is not about the momentary freeze frames that were cherry-picked out. This is about the entire interaction from beginning to end. It all matters. And it all proves that the state has met its burden, proven the elements of the offenses to you beyond a reasonable doubt, and therefore you must return a verdict of guilty. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Nicholson.
You
Mr. Hoagland?
Thank you, May it please the court.
We love her
Ladies
job.
and gentlemen of the jury, thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. I know at the last day, we've seen a lot of evidence. And the question then becomes, what have we learned? Okay. Not too mysteriously, I guess, the prosecutors left out a lot of issues that are germane to this case. Namely,
Germane.
where do we start?
Yes, germane.
And where we start is
What?
Seen him in a while. Where's
I
Jermaine?
know,
haven't
where'd he
seen him
go?
in a while.
Tell her from Greece. She has funny
Well-
accent.
Jermaine's from Greece, but the prosecutors left out a lot of things that were germane to the case. So I wondered where Jermaine might be.
I know. Probably
Mm,
tried
I
to
have a
date him.
funny accent. I think all you guys have a funny accent.
Yours is upside down.
those screenshots that I put up pertaining to what is the mission of the police department. And in here, one of the things it states, and you'll see this in the exhibits, okay? One of the things that it states has to do with, excuse me, on exhibit A, has to do with, we respect all persons in the dignity. It says it right on there, right on the website from the get-go, okay? When Mr. Jones came in to the lobby, he was simply asking for the chief of police. Granted, maybe it was more forceful than most people would do, but he's an American. He's got a right to ask that. He's got a right to ask for somebody in that chain of command. So if, as you look at this, the integral part is how was this handled by the original officer when he came out? Knowing, and you heard his testimony, and this is what's important. From the beginning, Sergeant Bush knew that the chief wasn't there. He knew it. But did he ever say it? No. He was going to show Mr. Jones who was boss. He's a police officer. He's going to show him. And that's exactly what happened. He came out barking commands at him. You're going to calm down. If you don't calm down, you're going to leave. Well, he's got a right as a citizen to be treated with respect and to be there. Now, here's what's important about the evidence of Officer Morgan.
Do I know if that's
Contrast Bush's attitude with Officer Morgan. Officer Morgan came out and was professional. Maybe she wasn't dressed professionally, but she was professional on how she handled.
Maybe she wasn't
situation.
professionally.
Hey, Bobby has many professions. She's a doctor, she's a nurse, she's an airline hostess.
Yeah.
Don't be
Mechanic,
dissing Bobs.
probably OnlyFans, you know, all kinds of stuff.
She does all sorts of things.
Yeah.
Pretty sure she's a
Morgan.
cop.
Officer Morgan came out and was professional. Maybe she wasn't dressed professionally, but she was professional on how she handled that situation and lessened it. Okay. Right before she came out, though, what was the first thing that he did? Or what was one of the first things that the officer did? He grabs his shirt. He grabs his shirt. He makes contact with a citizen. Up to this point, who was only asking to see the chief of police. Officers should be grabbing people simply because they're asking a question. That was inappropriate, and he knows it. So now that he's stuck with this of what he's done, as you heard his testimony, he tries to justify it and backdoor it. Well, I was doing this, that. You saw the video. It happens within seconds. And he's trying to tell us Monday morning quarterbacking, as we heard before. So he's going through and he's trying to justify his unjustifiable actions. Then what happens, as we see, I had asked him, where were the hands of Mr. Jones prior to that? And they were at his side, and you saw that. You'll see that on the video. Also, the force that was being used by Officer Bush was escalated and unreasonable. It was excessive. That's the example of excessive force, okay? Escalating it beyond where it needs to be. When Officer Morgan comes out, Mr. Jones is not purposely dragging Officer Bush across the floor. What he's doing, if you look at it, and you'll have this in the jury room, as you look at it, Officer Bush still has his shirt, and he's trying to pull him down. Mr. Jones is making a defensive move to try to get him to release his shirt. That's what you're seeing on that video. Embarrassed by the fact that he can't pull Mr. Jones down. Mr. Jones, by this time, is by the corner, and you'll see it right here. When Officer Morgan comes out and barks orders at him, he complies. That's where this should have ended. But embarrassed by the fact that he's at his legs, Bush isn't going to hear any of that. He's not going to comply with that. He wants this guy on the ground. And he wants to tell this guy, through his actions, I'm the officer, you're not. And in this case, it didn't need to be that way. This did not need to happen. Had Officer Bush complied with his training and being a reasonable officer and professional, nothing further should have happened. When Mr. Jones complied and put his hands up, that's what officers tell you to do. Relinquish your power, put your hands up. He does that. But within seconds, that's not good enough. And what we see is we see Officer Bush start to come up and still attacking. So faced with that, he's trying to defend himself. When what do we have? We have another officer that we see up here charging in. And knowing that when he was on the ground, he had heard, he had seen, he testified, he saw his hands up. He ignores it too. So now we got two individuals attacking a citizen for nothing at the beginning of this other than asking to see the police chief. Makes you wonder, are we in America?
Are we in America?
Mistakes were made. This could have been handled a heck of a lot better. And how you know that? It's that officer right there.
Oh, we were in America.
Her professionalism is shown throughout these videos.
Oh, I love it. The defendant nods there.
How you know?
Look at this.
Makes you wonder, are we in America?
He's nodding.
Mistakes were made. This could have been handled a heck of a lot better. And how you know that? It's that officer right there. Her professionalism is shown throughout these videos.
Oh, he's nodding that Officer Barbie was professional. He agrees.
Oh, he likes Barbie. Fair.
How to speak to the public, how to treat them with, as they said in their mission statement, dignity and respect. as a result of this, now we have the defendant fall on the ground. And did you recall the testimony of Officer Emmel? This was interesting. This is a club. Make no mistake about it. And it's good to have that club most of the time. But there are circumstances where that's not a good thing if they're not acting professionally. When I asked Officer Emmel when he fell, he was on top. Okay? He stated he was on top. He stated he was off balance.
He likes to be on top.
I asked him a simple question. You're off balance. Did it appear that the defendant could have been off balance after he was going to tackle him, right? He wouldn't give me a straight answer. He wouldn't give me a straight answer on that. Think about that. He could have just said, yeah, it's normal. He could have been off balance when he fell. But he doesn't say that to me. Why? Because it would help the defendant. Anything that would help the defendant, no, we're not going to agree to.
He really, you didn't see the cross. And I highly suggest just that officer's testimony is amazing.
Yeah.
It's one of the best crosses I've seen in a long time. Everything he was fighting, just the stupidest little things. I don't know. I was pulling his shirt, but I wasn't pulling him towards me. I was just pulling his shirt. Like, dude. And finally, the defense attorney is just like, no further questions. And just walks away.
I was gonna say, like, this defense attorney doesn't seem like, Jose Bias or anything. He's not the best, but
He
doesn't seem
was
like he really needed to be.
No, he was really good on that cross when it mattered. He came out swinging.
Fair.
I've been impressed by him.
It sounds like the cop was just an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was evident. So then Bush is still angry at the situation. What does he do?
Invades
He lets
Iraq.
his taser out. So now we've escalated it even more that he's on the ground. Bush takes out his taser when other officers are present in close proximity. How reasonable is that? He's on the ground already. He's got 4 officers basically manhandling him. And keep this in mind, throughout this whole scenario, not one punch was thrown. Not one punch. No close fists, despite them trying to say, oh, he looked like he was going to. That's speculation. It didn't happen. Certainly, if Mr. Jones was going to be an aggressor instead of defensive moves, up to that point, he would have hit back if he was what the prosecution wants you to believe. Is he stern? Yeah. Did he ask in a stern manner? Yeah. Does that justify the excessive force? No. So then what happens? We see some footage in the room in the back, right? And you think to yourself, okay, how does this, everything's over with by now. They're walking this guy back. What's the purpose of this? Well, the purpose was to make him look bad. That's what the purpose was. See, he's still agitated. But look and watch the video. Again, Officer Morgan professionally calms him down. Says, can you speak to me? Yes. Okay, what's going on? Treating him with that dignity that's in that website. Okay? She's quelling the situation that had been escalated by the other officers. After she asks him what's going on, he starts to tell her, what the basis was. At one point, ladies and gentlemen, and this is also important.
Everything's important.
She again tells him, just like when he was on the ground, that the chief of police wasn't even there. Watch his response on that video. It's the same when he's on the bottom of the pile and you heard the comment come out and the one officer said that was him saying that. Why couldn't you just told me that? Why did this thing have to get out of hand?
That's a good point.
That the conduct of these officers was excessive. And it's evident that when he's in the back room and he calms down, she tells him that and he says, communication, why aren't you guys communicating? That's what keeps you safe. A simple, he's not here, treat me with respect and I'll leave.
God, you're worse than my ex-wife.
There's a lot of things could have happened, but instead it was escalated. Not because of him. He didn't escalate that. Now, the prosecution doesn't want you to focus on that. They want you to focus on the after fact of what.
I mean, the prosecution is going to be like, the officer was like, well, I didn't have time. You within 5 seconds, you told him you need to calm down or leave. And he
Yeah.
could have just, he's not here. How can I help you?
Like, yeah, let me just see, sir, if he's here.
Yeah.
He's not here. Okay, bye.
Yeah. Can I help you get an appointment?
Yeah. Normal interaction. Done. Oh, you can tell he's pissed off. That's fine, he's pissed off. Well, I understand your frustration, sir. I would be frustrated too. But let me make an appointment for you.
Yeah.
Normal customer service.
Yeah.
But what caused it? What was the cause? What was the catalyst in this whole situation? Was it Officer Emmel and Officer Bush? Those were the two guys. Officer Emmel didn't see the original part, but when he came out, he paid attention. He didn't pay attention to the fact that the defendant had his hands up. He didn't pay attention to that. Could he have reached out to the other officer and said, his hands are up, back off? Yes. Did he do it? No. He was going to show him too. He was going to throw him on the ground, get him on the ground when he was complying. One of the things that the court is going to instruct you on is self-defense. And then also one of the other things is lawful arrest. You got to focus on that word lawful. Not only assault after the fact. When the officer put his hands on him, what was he charged with? What gave him the justification to do that?
To even
that
detain
is
him.
the beginning point of this case. Not the fact that everybody falls on the ground and gets scuffed up ankles and knees or whatever, okay? It's what happened at the beginning of this. You know, somebody once said, if you can't be upset in the land of the free, then you aren't in the land of the free.
I do love, he really is going with the "this is America" defense.
This is America. We're allowed to be mad.
Freedom of speech.
It's actually a pretty good point. Like the whole point of 2A, for example,
Yeah.
is that you're supposed to be able to protect yourself from a tyrannical government.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I'm not saying he should have
Yeah.
gone in there waving a gun.
No.
Yeah. But you are supposed, and free speech also, you're supposed to be able to speak out against a tyrannical government.
Yeah.
And just speak out in general. So he wanted to speak to the chief. And when he was denied that, he faced opposition. So he got a bit pissed off.
Yeah.
And so they wouldn't show him the respect of just going and finding out whether the chief of police was around. Instead, that cop got aggressive verbally back with him.
Yeah, immediately.
This could backfire. Sometimes jurors feel appeals to emotion insult their intelligence. I think it could go in his favor, because sometimes jurors feel like, hey, you know what? You're right. Like, he should be able to go in there and complain without ending up on the floor.
Yeah, I see this as 50-50 either way.
Yeah. I mean, I think he'll probably be found guilty. But I mean, hang on, it's Warren County.
It is. So there's, 50-50 literally.
Who knows?
Mr. Jones was upset because he was wronged in his eyes. He was wronged by a seatbelt, charge when he knew he had a seatbelt on and the officer lied. All right? That to Mr. Jones matters at the core of who we are. Is that, like I put up there at the beginning, is that showing integrity from the officers? Is that showing professionalism? Already, that's why he was angry. He was frustrated. Any harm that happened in this was started by the officer, escalated by the officer, and the argument then looks to what kind of force the defendant used to repel this. He didn't close his fists. He didn't hit anybody. He was just trying not to be taken to the ground. You can see that. He did withdraw from the situation. The withdrawal came when he put his hands up, He complied with the order and put his hands up. That's withdrawing from the situation. Okay, he's done that. Unfortunately, 2 other officers out of the 3 didn't adhere to that, didn't allow him to do that. Ladies and gentlemen, the charges that are put forth with regard to the assault, the knowingly, he was not trying to assault them. You can see that in the video. He's just trying to get him to let loose of his shirt, which evidently too, you saw, ended up totally being ripped off of him, right? The other issue, they put the handcuffs on him. Look at he got injured from it. You can see it right here. Even though there's 2 cuffs on him at that point, these injuries happened from the original cuffing of him. They were pretty rough on him. Here's a picture of his elbow. He's got blood on it. Dignity.
Got tennis elbow.
No medical care at all. No dignity. With regard to obstructing official business, the question then becomes at the beginning, and the resisting arrest, again, what was he being detained for? You have a right to walk freely in the United States. You have a right to ask questions. You have a right to walk into a police station without fear of being attacked, just simply for asking questions and contesting a speeding ticket or a seatbelt ticket or anything. And if you don't ask nicely, which is maybe in this case, that doesn't give the right, that's not carte blanche for the police to open up a can of you know what on a person, on a citizen, and show them who's in charge. That's what happened here. I know that, counsel has argued a lot of things on this, but the physical force, the original laying of hands on the defendant, that's what caused all this. You also, the other thing I want you to remember too, and this came from the testimony that you heard. Did he go off on that officer? Yeah. He thought that was the guy who lied about the seatbelt ticket. He was angry. You could see he was angry. If anybody's been accused of doing something they haven't done, they're going to be angry about it. They're going to be frustrated with it. And as we talked about earlier, normally you try to talk to that person that wronged you or their superior or whatever, which is what he was doing. Later on, he figured out, and you heard the testimony about this, he was wrong about that officer. But he apologized about it. He wasn't too proud to admit he had made a mistake. Okay? In this case, when you look at all the evidence that you'll have, remember where we are, remember where the defendant was, remember the original action of the officer who came out. And it was not like Officer Morgan. Had Officer Morgan come out first, we might be in a different situation. But that's not what happened. We had an officer who came out, and according to his own testimony, he's getting ready to retire. Maybe he had a bad day, I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, he could have handled that a lot better. And to carry this through to where we are today is an abomination to Mr. Jones as an American. When you go back in the deliberation room, our position is you should find the defendant not guilty of all charges. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Holdman. Ms. Nicholson?
Thank you. Can you switch me back over? You have the ability to do that. Mr. Lawson.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There are 2 prongs to self-defense. First, you have to find that there was excessive or unnecessary force use. And then only after you've found that, do you undertake an evaluation if the defendant was in fact acting in self-defense and determine whether the state has proven beyond a reasonable doubt that he was not. If you find the excessive piece, then the defendant is not entitled to use self-defense if the state proves any one of these following things. The 12 of you must agree that the state proved any of these. However, you do not have to agree on which of these were proven, so long as you agree at least one of them was. The defendant was at fault in creating the situation, giving rise to the event in which the use of non-deadly force occurred, or the defendant did not have reasonable grounds to believe that he was in imminent immediate danger of bodily harm, or he did not have an honest belief, even if mistaken, that he was in imminent immediate danger of bodily harm, or he used unreasonable force in response. Now, I submit to you that the defendant was not in any fear. His comments in the back make that clear. When he is asked if he is injured, his response is not a simple no. And it's not even a response to point out, yeah, I have this abrasion on my wrist and my elbow's bleeding. His response is, no one here is capable of hurting me.
So he's acting tough.
And even if you were to believe that Sergeant Bush's grabbing the defendant's shirt is somehow excessive force, that action alone would certainly not place the defendant in fear of bodily harm. Not coupled with his comments baiting Sergeant Bush. Sergeant Bush never pulls a weapon, never makes a threatening statement. There's not a size discrepancy. And there is absolutely nothing in evidence.
Objection for the record, Judge.
There is absolutely nothing in evidence in this case to suggest that the defendant was fearful that he was in imminent, immediate danger. And given the contact
He just
that
mouthed
Sergeant Bush
something.
had with him, given that contact, there were certainly not reasonable grounds for fear of such harm. That's the excessive force the defendant wants you to believe occurred. And the force that the defendant used to dispel that contact is what was excessive. He doesn't stop when Sergeant Bush is on the ground. He drags him across the floor and is over top of him when Officer Morgan enters. And when Sergeant Bush finally starts to get to his feet, not to attack, as it's been so often characterized, but to arrest, he shoves Sergeant Bush and engages with Officer Emmel and takes Officer Emmel to the ground. They didn't fall. Watch the video for yourselves. Sergeant Emmel, certainly when he enters the lobby, had used no force on the defendant before the defendant engages with him and takes him to the ground. Sergeant Bush, apparently his taser was a show of force. Sergeant Bush told you why he took his taser out.
Uh-oh.
The defendant has Officer Emmel in a headlock. Officer Emmel is not in control of that situation, so he draws his taser. He puts it away when he realizes that it is not a safe situation in which to use that. That was reasonable. If they were really out to attack, they would have simply tased the defendant. They chose not to do that.
Well, they
That
couldn't.
was not
because there was too many
necessary to
people.
control the situation.
Oh,
There's
he's
no evidence
just
before you
going
that
so
anyone
long.
struck the defendant, kicked the defendant, used any weapon against the defendant. The only force in evidence that the defendant faced was that. This isn't a case where the defendant sat quietly in the lobby ignoring the police. This isn't a case where he didn't hear the commands that Sergeant Bush gave to him. He verbally responds to those commands in the negative. Sergeant Bush enters the lobby, says, "What can I do for you?" "Get the chief." Settle down, get the chief. We're not going to do that. We're not going to act like that. Get the chief or I'll find him. Back up, get your hands out of your pockets. No. Leave, no.
Mm.
He didn't care what Sergeant Bush said to him. Nothing was going to appease the defendant on November 1st of 2024, short of a face-to-face meeting with Chief Bentley. And yeah, he's told while he's on the floor that Chief's not even in the building. Why didn't someone just tell me that? But yet when he gets to the back, to the THF, where's the chief? Get him here. He's, again, not here. Why didn't somebody tell me that? Communication is what keeps you guys safe. That's what he said. Sergeant Bush did communicate with him. Asked him to create a safe environment for them to have a conversation. And the defendant refused. The defense is trying to paint Sergeant Bush as this over-aggressive bully cop. He doesn't raise his voice, even when presented with the defendant who's escalating verbally. His body language is relaxed. You can see that in the surveillance video. You can see that in the body cam. He rests his hands on his duty belt. He says, "We can stand here all day and have a conversation." But that's when the defendant steps forward. He doesn't get in the defendant's face until it becomes an officer safety issue. Told you to watch the whole video. There were these cherry-picked screenshots like that from Defendant's Exhibit D. That's 2 seconds later in the video. Come on. Try it. Come on.
That was the second video.
Freedom is Americans. It's apparently what's on trial in this case. Mr. Jones had every right to walk into the Springboro Police Department on November 1st to air his grievance.
Don't agree, princess.
That's correct. But that does not mean that the Springboro Police Department had to let him walk all over them.
What?
He was not treating anyone with dignity and respect. And Sergeant Bush was respectful to him
No.
until the defendant continued to refuse to comply with simple commands. But as the defendant told you back in the THF, you don't command him to do anything. You can ask me, but you order me and we're going to have a problem. Sergeant Bush ordered him, and the defendant had a problem. This case is not about the choices that Sergeant Bush, Officer Emmel, or any other officer for that matter made on November 1st of 2024.
Kind of is.
Mr. Helbling wants you to think about all the ways this could have been handled differently. Sergeant Bush could have done X, Y, or Z, but he told you he's here assessing this. He's in that lobby assessing the situation in real time. This all happens in like less than 2 minutes or something. He sees a non-compliant, verbally combative, unknown subject who's refusing to comply with the most basic commands. Just take your hands out of your pocket and create some space. That's all he's being asked to do. This case is about the choices made by the defendant. His choice.
I said.
Did you hear what I said?
I'm gonna give you one more chance to listen. If you want help,
Get the chief.
you need to
Get the chief.
leave.
Get the chief.
We'll sit here all day.
Get the chief. You can either do it or I'll find you.
No, you won't.
Yeah, I will.
Sheriff
Back
wants to
up.
come
Get
in.
your hands out of your pockets.
No. Try it. Come on. Come on.
Choices made by the defendant. To be angry from the moment Sergeant Bush stepped into the lobby. His choice to step up to Sergeant Bush. His choice to refuse, not ignore, but outright refuse everything he was asked to do. The defendant simply could have left, come back another time if he was not satisfied with what was happening. But again, he had already decided this was his time. This was his place, and he was not going to take no for an answer. I submit to you that the state has proven the elements of these charges to you beyond a reasonable doubt. And we have proven to you that the defendant did not have the right to act in self-defense, and therefore is not entitled to that. We ask that you return a verdict of guilty.
Oh, no. Members of the jury, you've heard the evidence and the arguments of counsel. It's now my duty to instruct you on the law. The court and the jury have separate functions.
Congratulations, well done.
The court provides you with the instructions of law. It is your sworn duty to accept these instructions and apply the law as I give it to you. You are not permitted to change the law or to apply your own idea of what you think the law is or ought to be. The case before you began with the filing of an indictment. The indictment informs the defendant that he has been charged with crimes. You may not consider the fact that it was filed for any purpose.
Incredible.
The plea of not guilty is a denial of the charges and is to issue all of the essential elements of the crimes
Amazing.
charged in that indictment.
Christ.
The defendant is presumed innocent until his guilt is established beyond a reasonable doubt. The defendant must be acquitted unless the state produces evidence which convinces you beyond a reasonable
All right, let's skip to the verdict.
Yeah, stop playing with your toys.
Oh, no.
to deliberate further.
So they were out for like 2 hours plus lunch. Ask off my drink, Junior. Hold on, sorry. His tail just hit my straw. Yeah, gotta make it transformative, Hella.
Yes.
Grocery, electric, water, cell phone. I'm being told a different amount.
Coming out.
Wait, Judge Teep had a sex change? Wow. Judge Teep's kind of hot right now.
What happened?
Rawr. You can hold me in contempt, Judge.
You okay?
No, I'm just turgid.
Stop it.
File a
with the
motion
turgid.
and we'll come back here and figure out what's going
Okay, hopefully Teep's going to get back from the drag show. Yeah, they were definitely out for a while.
Yeah.
Oh, look at them. Oh, just having a good old time. There's the defendant, got back from the bathroom. I guess that's the defendant's wife, maybe? Oh,
Yeah,
no.
wife.
Ooh, maybe that's his wife.
Maybe.
Hey, here we go, guys.
Thank you. Please be seated. Mr. Geyer, are you the foreperson of the jury?
Yes.
Can you tell me, has the jury reached the verdict?
Yes.
Could you please hand the verdict forms to Mr. Lawson? Thank you. In the matter of the state of Ohio versus Christopher Jones, the verdict as to count one reads as follows. We, the jury, being duly impaneled, sworn or affirmed, find the defendant Christopher Jones guilty of assault as he stands charged in the indictment.
Oh,
This verdict form
wow.
is signed by all 12 members of the jury. Additional finding, the victim of the offense was a peace officer as defined by the Ohio Revised Code. This additional finding is also signed by all 12 members of the jury. As to count two, we, the jury, being duly impaneled, sworn or affirmed, find the defendant Christopher Jones guilty of assault. This verdict form is signed by all 12 members of the jury. The additional finding that the victim was a police officer is also signed by all 12 members of the jury. As to count four, we, the jury, being duly impaneled, sworn or affirmed, find the defendant Christopher Jones guilty of obstructing official business. This verdict is signed by all 12 members of the jury. And again, the additional finding is that the defendant's conduct did cause a risk of physical harm to any person. This additional finding is signed by all 12 members of the jury. And as to count five, we, the jury, being duly impaneled, sworn or affirmed, find the defendant Christopher Jones guilty of resisting arrest. And again, this verdict form is signed by all 12 members of the jury. Does the state wish to have the jury polled?
No, Your Honor.
Does the defense wish to have the jury polled?
No, Your Honor.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes your service in this case, and you are excused and relieved of all these instructions and admonitions that I've given you at the beginning of the case. You have the court's thanks. I'm going to return you to the jury room at this time, and your electronic devices will be returned to you. And I think Ms. Burnside wants to speak to all of you for just a minute, then I'll be back personally to thank you for your service, but you are excused.
And your
All right.
verdict.
Oh, well.
All right, at this time, Mr. Jones, your bond is revoked and you're remanded into the custody of the Warren County Sheriff's Office for sentencing.
Oh, no.
I'm going to order a pre-sentence investigation. I have really no idea what I'm going to do in this case yet, but I am going to take you into custody at this time. Anything else on behalf of the state?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Mr. Holman?
Just for the record, Judge, we would request that the bond continue. He has shown up at every hearing. He's been in close contact with me. And this is pending a PSI. I would just respectfully request his bond be continued.
All right, I'm not going to do that. He's now been convicted of several felonies, and I'm not going to, it's no longer just a bond issue. He's now been convicted, so that's,
Okay,
thank you.
understood.
Do you guys wish to talk to them?
If they're, I'm always willing if they're
All
willing.
right, John, do you want to talk to them?
Ooh.
No.
No. Fuck you, jury. Defense lawyer is salty. Oh, now you smile, bitch. Oh, this sucks. No, yeah, I'm a sad panda now.
I think Nick's still going.
Is he? I should probably redirect. What do you got coming up, Hella?
I was just looking at Nick's stream. They just brought up my chat. I said we just finished Dali's trial, and Nick goes, "What did he do?"
I mean, that's fair.
So tomorrow I'm okay. Assuming no news pops up, because it might. Who knows? Who knows? But assuming no news pops up, I was thinking I might do a stream on. There's this chick, and she's like borderline crazy. She's crazy, obsessed with Luigi.
She's single? Oh.
I don't know. I think she's betrothed to Luigi.
Aw.
She's hot.
Mm.
Like she's hot.
Yeah.
But she's like the queen of the Mangionistas.
Aw. I'm a Mangionista.
Yeah. And she's been trying to get a lot of press. So she camps out at all the hearings.
Nice.
And if she can't camp out, she gets line sitters.
Really?
Mm.
Nice.
Yeah. And while she doesn't support murder, sometimes it's kind of necessary.
Oh, good. So technically it's wrong.
Technically it's wrong, but if Luigi's doing it, then fine.
Yeah, he's hot. He's hon.
Yeah.
Funny.
Yeah. Anyway, so I was thinking we might just make fun of her.
You got a big dick, you must have quit.
We don't even know if he has a big one.
Oh.
And like,
Well,
I'm really
he now
sorry to
smart
tell all
judge.
these people, but he's not seeing the light of day ever again. This man. Like, I really hope he's not given
Yeah.
the death penalty, because I'm very much against the death penalty. But I really don't think he's ever seen the light of day. He's in big, big, big trouble.
Yeah, and Donald Trump kind of has a raging hard on for him at the moment. So,
Well, a lot of people do.
well, that not in that way, but point taken.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, the social media around this is just nuts.
Yeah.
Katie. Yeah. So yeah, I'm thinking about running that.
Nice.
Bit of a change.
Okay. Well, I'll be back with Courtroom Roulette on Monday. And I'll be looking for another trial as well coming up next week, hopefully. And I might have some more Lauren lawyer streams coming up, but we shall see. I'm
there's
doing
Lauren
some
lawyer
sleuthing.
streams.
Yes,
Oh yeah.
we shall see.
You've got more Lauren content than I do.
Well, we'll see.
Lauren lawyer content anyway.
We can see. Yeah. I'm a journalist.
Who's Rebecca Park? Oh, is she another one, is she? Yeah, I've got this chick's name's Abril Dios, and she is cuckoo. Cuckoo. Oh, Andy just left Nick's. Oh well. Maybe Nick's finished. Don't know. We'll see. Never mind.
Sorry, Junior's just letting me rub his bottom of his chin. Oh, chinny chin chin.
Oh, how cute.
Choo-choo. Hi. Hi, kitty.
Okay.
He's keeping me company. Okay, so we're going to end now, and I'll redirect y'all over to Nick Starro.
Cool.
Godspeed, everyone. You meddling kids.